Welcome to another Monster of the Week, brought to you by the Kids Pod app. The Kids Pod app is a safe and accessible place to find the best kid-friendly podcasts. Click the link in the show notes to download the Kids Pod app today. Today's monster is a Lichenhound. Lichenhounds are furry, dog-sized creatures covered in vibrant, bioluminescent moss and lichen. They have long, slender tails and sometimes 4 eyes close together that emit a soft, soothing glow. The bioluminescent moss that covers its body is very much alive and often warns the Lichenhound of danger by glowing or flashing brightly to warn off predators. Some forest wizards believe the Lichenhounds have the power to cleanse the forest air with their mossy fur, where it traps impurities and eliminates them. Most travelers welcome the company of a Lichenhound, as they will travel with them for as long as they're in the forest and warn them of danger. In spite of their chill demeanor, Lichenhounds are vicious when threatened, and many believe their sharp teeth to be poisonous. A few Lichenhounds live in the southern swamps, and they are so powerful that the Red Cloak Wizards and the Bizzards leave them alone. Max has an exciting story from when he encountered a Lichenhound. Yeah, Max, that's me. Well, a while back I went by Mysterious Mr. Max, and I was a bad guy. That's the best way to put it. And on this particular occasion, I had visited a small wizard's college far, far away, and I definitely stole something valuable and powerful from that wizard's college, but I did not make a clean getaway. I was found out, and I ended up getting chased by a few wizards on my way out. Well, this wizard's college was surrounded by an ocean on one side and a big town on another side and a dangerous, dark, enchanted forest on the other side. So I figured, okay, if I head into this dangerous, enchanted forest, then maybe the wizards won't follow. Well, they did, because I stole their stuff, so I can't blame them. But I lost them in the forest, and in doing so, I got a little lost myself. So I'm looking around, getting my bearings. I lean against a tree to try and retrace my steps, and this Lichenhound comes trotting up to me out of the darkness. I was not in the mood to be distracted, but I can't resist a cute little Lichenhound, so I gave him some pets and let him hang around. He was glowing a little yellowish green, and he just sat down next to me while I was figuring out how to get out of this forest. A few minutes pass, and the Lichenhound glows real bright, and then starts glowing black, which I didn't even think was possible. He starts growling and looking out into the forest. I follow his gaze and I don't see anything, just darkness and trees, and so for a minute I think the Lichenhound is just being an animal, It thinks it sees something out there, but really it's nothing. Well, the Lichenhound did not think it was nothing. He kept growling and huffed and gruffed and bit into my pants and started pulling me. He started pulling me in one direction, and honestly, I didn't even know what direction it was. I was still hopelessly lost, so this hound keeps pulling and pulling my pants, and he's gonna rip them. He's pulling so hard, and he's got such a grip. I figure I don't know which way to go anyway, and I just start letting the hound pull me, and I end up following him, and he's running, and I'm running, and he looks back, and I look back, and there's like 20 ninjas behind us in hot pursuit. They're all dressed in black, running and leaping and jumping down from the trees, real professional-like ninjas, and they're after us. So it turns out the hound was leading me away from the ninjas, and eventually he leads me to the edge of the forest. I'll never forget it. Without that Lichenhound, I would have been caught for sure. So if you run into a Lichenhound out in the forest someday, treat it kindly and don't shoo it away, especially if you're lost. I'm glad you joined us for today's monster. If you draw a picture of a Lichenhound, I would love to see it. You can send it to me at kidstoriespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Until next monster.